taken a fair while to get the brewery up to a stage where it is today. And I suppose it's got to be interesting to get through all the point where you're not making money and it's all hard and things like that. So yeah, definitely the science side of things is really, very interesting. It's probably motivated me to get into brewing in the first place. I think that's probably where, going from just a kid sort of brewing to mash brewing and just trying to find out how it all starts and how everything works. That's kind of why I'm sort of into it, I guess. And then the benefit, you get a beer after at the end of it, so it's all cool. First couple of years, we teamed up with Amanda's sister and her hubby, and so we had part of the brewery stuff in their back shed and part of it in our back shed, and it was just to see how it goes, see if this works, is it fun, all those sorts of things. So so the brewery's named Bucket Brewery. It's got sort of roots in the family. It's got a whole lot of puppies, and out of that, the boys adopted one of them, and that was it. Well, there you go, boys. That can be Bucket. And then when we were home brewing in the back shed, and we sort of started to think, let's do a brewery here. I think I'm going to call this thing. Somebody spilled a beer or spilled some malt over there. Bucket was over there, and we were in between, and she didn't care. She went straight through us, and somebody called out Bucket, and we thought, there we go, Bucket Brewery. So, I think it's a good symbol of we try to be family orientated and things like that, and sort of symbolises our family as well. So we're pretty proud of the fact that we're family owned and operated. We've got kids helping out with labelling. We've got my mum, Amanda's parents come in and help with canning days when they can. We do everything here. We're very proud of that, and the fact that we're fairly, what you see is what you get. And we're looking at around about 1,200 litres a week or so that we're pushing out, but it's increasing lately, so which is great. So we roughly try to have a dozen going at one time if we can. Obviously, some beers go and they get sold out, and so we get down to 10 or 11 or so. So at the moment in the fridge we have 12, and that fella there is number 13, so we've reserved that for the Chops and Hops pack. Probably should go through them. From left to right, we've got our Dust Mountain, which is our Manson beer. Originally, the style goes back to Oktoberfest, and that would have been the type of beer that you'd find at Oktoberfest. So it's a fairly malty, 5.5%, a little bit higher in alcohol. It goes back to, historically, before refrigeration, they would have put these March beers in these big caves or cellars in March, and then they would have been enjoyed in October at Oktoberfest. So they would have had to put the alcohol content up a little bit for preservation. So that's our Oktoberfest beer. We've been hanging on to a few so we can put it into this pack. They go with lovely pork and all those sorts of things. Then we've got our black lager, our Schwarzbier. It was our number one brew commercially, and it's the beer that I've not changed the recipe for a very long time. I brewed this when I was home brewing over and over and over again because I really liked it, but also just to then we've got probably Vern came next. We'll go that way. So Vern is Vern's IPA. So we made an IPA. We thought we're into this brewing game for about 3 years. Haven't made an IPA yet. People saying, "Can you make an IPA? Can you make an IPA?" So I thought, let's do it. Because he turned up on the same day as we made the IPA for the first time, and so we thought, there we go. Vern's IPA it is. That's the name of the sculpture. So it's a West Coast IPA. It's got Cascade, Amarillo, and Galaxy hops in there. so it's really fruity and fairly easy drinking, 6.8%. Then we've got a mandarin beer. So this was our lockdown beer. We had a bit of time when everyone's had that 8 weeks of lockdown, and so we thought, well, let's make this Nipah. Somebody sent me a few Nipahs back at Christmas time, and I thought, oh, this is pretty good. Better make one of those. So we've got some Citra Mosaic hops in there, which are fairly true to style, and then the third one's Mandarin and Bavaria hops, which come from Germany, and push out a bit of Mandarin flavour. Coincides with Amanda, my wife, and she gets me named after her as well. So it's Mandarin Nipah. Like there's other beers there that we do make, so yeah, and we try to change it around seasonally. We've got over the next few weeks and months, we should have a mulberry, what we call mulberry, which is a wheat beer with mulberries added to it. So basically, we ferment out our normal Bavarian wheat beer, and then we heat up some mulberries to pasteurise any sort of germs, so it's not a sour, and we add them roughly about a kilo to a case of beer sort of thing. We put a call out to the local community back when the mulberries were fruity. It coincides with October school holidays around here, and so we've got a lot of kids bringing in mulberries, or their parents bringing in mulberries on behalf of their kids for $5 a kilo. So we ended up getting around about 150 kilos, so pretty happy with that. And you know, this year has been a really, really good season for mulberries compared to last season. Last season we got 3 kilos just because there's no water around. So yeah, so I think we're trying. You know, it was a good way to get the community involved, a local sort of product that is basically just grows everywhere. And yeah, it all started actually when I was homebrewing again, and our next door neighbour, she had Maisie, she had a big mulberry tree in there, and she let us and the kids get in there and take as many as we like, because she wasn't going to eat them all. And yeah, just thought, oh, what would it taste like if I throw some mulberries in beer? So I thought that was pretty cool. And then it comes out a really lovely dark pink sort of colour. Yeah, and we've got a fair bit of positive feedback on that, and so I thought I might as well do it for real.